Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. It's been a hot and dry summer in the southern tier. With our region in a drought, our Josh Feldberg spoke to a member of the Water Board to find out how it's impacting the southern tier.
It has been a hot and dry summer in the Twin Tiers this year. Without a lot of rainfall, the Chemung River levels have been getting lower and lower. According to the New York Department of Environmental Conservation, a drought watch has been issued for the southern tier.
Obviously, it's been a bit dry. Stream flows in the river are down a bit. We get about 2/3 of our water from the river, and the balance comes from a couple wells alongside the river.
According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, Corning, Elmira, and Watkins Glen are all in a moderate drought. A moderate drought means more irrigation is used on farms and grain yields are lower than normal.
We have had conditions like this quite frequently before. This one is probably a little longer in duration than some of the more recent ones, but this level seems to have stabilized and hopefully won't go much lower.
I'm standing alongside the Chemung River. The low river levels and the drought conditions are having some moderate effects on the southern tier. Hopefully with today's rain and more on the way, the river levels will rise back up. At this moment, residents don't need to restrict their water usage. This is far from the worst drought the Twin Tiers has ever seen. With rain expected to fall in the coming week, the possibility of the drought ending is very real. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Chemung County.
A new recycling company is coming to Bath. Momentum of Western New York is in development to operate as the region's newest material recovery and recycling center. The facility is looking to reduce landfill usage. Windmill blades and solar panels are two of the primary items the facility will be handling. Momentum of Western New York is scheduled to be fully operational in late 2023. Premier protein shakes, along with the Oatly oat beverage and other LionsMagnus products, have been voluntarily recalled by the company. Over 50 products have been recalled because of potential bacterial contamination. A full list of the products recalled has been published by both the company and the FDA's website. The company advises you immediately throw away any possibly contaminated products or return them to the place of purchase for a refund. The summer and the raceway are heating up as Watkins Glen International prepares for the race of the year. Our Maggie Hall spoke to NASCAR driver Brad Keselowski about his season so far and returning to the Glen.
Bradley Keselowski is on his home track this weekend in his hometown of Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Michigan's been, a good racetrack to me. I haven't broke through and won a cup race there, although I really, really want to. But we've had some really competitive runs there, lots of top five, seconds, and so forth. And hopefully we can punch on through and get us first win in my hometown. I'm really excited to do that.
The Watkins Glen International Speedway has also treated him well.
Yeah, it's been a good track for me. I've got a number of second-place finishes in the Cup car, very similar to Michigan.
He's hoping to secure a win on the WGI track this year.
Darn near won this thing 3 years in a row in the Cup Series. I feel really good about our opportunity to do that here this year.
Brad currently drives the Castrol USA Ford, which he calls on his Twitter a lean, green fighting machine. He's excited to be coming back to Watkins on August 21st for the NASCAR Cup Series.
Coming to Watkins Glen, it's been one of NASCAR's tracks for almost 30 years now, and it never disappoints with some great racing and some great fans. Appreciate the amazing turnout reception we get when we come up to Watkins Glen.
To go bowling on the Glen with Brad and the other NASCAR drivers, visit theglen.com to get your tickets. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner was sentenced to 9 years in prison in Russia on drug possession charges today. She apologized in court. Amy Kellogg has more.
WNBA star Brittany Griner found guilty in a Russian court Thursday as her trial on drug charges comes to an end. Earlier, she pleaded her case to the judge.
I had no intent on breaking any Russian laws. I had no intent. I did not conspire or plan to commit this crime.
Prosecutors are arguing she deliberately packed cannabis oil in her luggage. Griner and her attorneys say she accidentally packed the vape cartridges and only uses cannabis for medical purposes. The Phoenix Mercury star has been detained in Russia for nearly 6 months. U.S. officials say they're working to secure the release of Greiner and former Marine Paul Whelan, who is currently serving a 16-year sentence on spying charges.
There are discussions going on between both sides. We've made a serious proposal. We urge the Russians to act on that proposal.
Russian officials have said any exchange could only happen after the judicial process is finished. But some argue drawn-out negotiations could have a negative impact on Russian athletes.
The Russian athletes who have worked their whole entire lives to become great at their craft, it's in jeopardy right now, I would say, with the international community.
Moscow urged U.S. officials not to make public statements about the case, saying that it would only show disrespect for Russian law. In Milan, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
Baby formula shortages continue in the face of federal initiatives meant to combat the crisis. But more help is on the way as the Biden administration announces another shipment of formula from overseas is expected soon. Steve Rappaport has the latest numbers, plus a look at which states are experiencing some of the highest out-of-stock rates.
This has not gone away.
The nationwide baby formula shortage is far from over. While shelves aren't as bare as they were a few months ago, new data from market research company Information Resources Incorporated reveals for the week ending July 24th, roughly 20% of all types of baby formula products were completely out of stock, with the out-of-stock rate for powdered formula nearing 30%.
It has been such a struggle.
Researchers also found the states with some of the highest out-of-stock rates include Arkansas with more than 42%, Kansas with more than 36%, Utah with more than 35%, Colorado with 35%, and Minnesota with more than 34% of formula products out of stock.
We do understand that there's a lot more work to do.
The White House on Wednesday announcing plans for another Operation Fly Formula mission, allowing formula that meets U.S. health and safety standards to be flown in from overseas. Back in May, President Biden first invoked Operation Fly Formula and the Defense Production Act to help address the shortage. Since then, the mission has brought the equivalent of 64 million 8-ounce bottles of formula into the country. But parents are still facing massive hurdles.
I had to start pumping again every 2 hours around the clock. And I've now been breastfeeding for an additional 6 months that I wasn't planning on breastfeeding.
Abbott Nutrition, which runs one of the nation's largest formula manufacturing plants, shuttered operations back in February after concerns of bacterial contamination. The shutdown primarily fueling the shortage, but Abbott has since resumed production of some of its formulas. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Equifax issued the wrong credit scores on millions of potential borrowers in the U.S. The credit reporting agency says about 12% of credit scores released from mid-March into early April may have been wrong. It sent lenders inaccurate scores on people applying for loans and credit cards. In some cases, the error was 20 points off. This affected interest rates for potential borrowers or caused applications to be denied. Equifax says a coding issue is to blame, and it has since been fixed. A man in Pennsylvania is on a mission to break the skydiving record, and he plans to do it by attempting 101 skydives in just 24 hours. The current state record stands at 40. Chris Howard headed to Penridge Airport in Percy Wednesday morning to kick off his first of many dives. But this wild ride is not just about breaking a record. Money raised for the event will benefit Bucks for Kids, which works to support foster children throughout Bucks County. Your complete forecast is next. Plus, scientists are unveiling their process for making jet fuel from solar power and water. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Cassie Clavin. Thanks so much for tuning in. Taking a quick peek at the weekend, we are expecting to see showers and thunderstorms. We're going to see these Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Our temperatures, they're going to be in the mid-80s into the 90s for Sunday, so temps are going to be warm. And with those thunderstorms, it's going to be humid as well. Let's take a look at what's going on. So here's our forecast starting Friday morning at 1 a.m. We are going to see just isolated showers, thunderstorms moving through the area. Quiet first thing Friday morning, and then some showers isolated into the afternoon, evening hours. So it's not going to be a washout. We'll just want to be aware of those thunderstorms as they're moving through. And then this is going to be the trend that is going to continue into Saturday and Sunday as well. So you'll want to keep that umbrella handy, and then just make sure you check the forecast before any of your outdoor plans in the coming days, since we do have quite a bit going on. Here's what we're looking at for rain totals for most. We're talking right about a half an inch of rain. Westfield could see just over an inch of rain, and as some of these thunderstorms move through, we could see some heavy downpours at times. Some gusty winds definitely not going to be out of the question either, so we'll be keeping an eye on that and any flooding concerns that we could potentially see in the coming days. So tonight, 67 degrees, we are going to see that chance of storms, fairly calm winds. If those thunderstorms roll through, we could see some higher winds, some real gusty winds out there. But our temperatures tonight are going to be staying warm, quite a bit above average tonight with those temperatures in the 60s. We'll be in the mid to upper 60s, close to 70 degrees, waking up on Friday morning as well. Those isolated showers and thunderstorms, we have the potential to see those first thing Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon, just slightly above average for this time of year. Scattered storms, 85 degrees, winds not in the thunderstorms don't look to be too bad. North wind fairly calm out there, but some gusty winds not out of the question in the thunderstorms that we could see. We have a good chance to see them as we head into or through the daytime hours. Quite a bit of cloud cover first thing tomorrow morning, and then those isolated shower and thunderstorm chances with those temperatures going to be sitting in the 80s overall for our region. So it is going to be warm at times heading into Friday with those showers and thunderstorms expected, and temperatures just slightly warmer than average. Then Saturday, we wake up to temperatures in the 60s, isolated showers and thunderstorms, and we'll continue to see those through the day Saturday, but our temperatures will be heating up. We're going to be in the mid-80s for Saturday, 90s for Sunday, and then temperatures cooling back down into the 80s on Monday, but this chance of showers and thunderstorms is going to continue into next week.
Scientists are harnessing the power of the sun to create jet fuel, aiming to make airplanes carbon neutral. Ashley Strohmeyer reports.
The aviation industry accounts for roughly 5% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, heavily relying on fossil fuels like kerosene to keep airplanes soaring. But a team of Swiss researchers are using a solar tower facility to produce a cleaner type of jet fuel, using elements found in nature like sunlight and water in hopes of making airplanes carbon neutral.
In the solar reactor, we have a thermochemical process taking place, splitting water and CO2, and produces syngas.
Syngas is a synthetic alternative to fossil fuels like diesel and kerosene. Researchers inject CO2 and water into a solar reactor and use heat generated from the sun to create it.
We are providing this energy by concentrating solar radiation by a factor of 3,000.
But synthetic or not, fuel is fuel. So how is syngas carbon neutral? According to scientists, when an airplane uses syngas, the fuel emits as much CO2 as was extracted from the air to create it, canceling out any negative effects to the environment. And syngas could be going mainstream, with solar energy company Synhelion aiming to industrialize its production.
Our goal is that by 2025 to have the first full-scale commercial solar fuels plant in operation, with a production capacity of around 10 million liters of methanol per year.
Synhelion is partnering with Swiss Air to create carbon-neutral aviation fuel. Officials expect production to start next year. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
An aspiring soccer star gets a special gift that will help him kick his game up a notch. Shelby Rose has more on this heartwarming story.
What is the biggest limiter right now for you in playing soccer?
Running.
15-year-old Joseph Alvarado had no idea he would be given the gift of running Sunday morning. All thanks to a brand new prosthetic leg.
It felt like Christmas, basically.
Since he was barely a year old, the aspiring soccer star has learned to adapt to life as an amputee, facing limitations in his athletic ability due to not having the right prosthesis.
Just tough because I couldn't run much, fast and a lot. It would be hard to run with the other leg.
It all happened through a grant program funded by a partnership between the Challenged Athletes Foundation and the prosthetic company OSER. The gift presented by triathlon Paralympian Jamie Brown, who has a similar story.
It's really hard to describe to someone that doesn't wear a prosthetic what the impact is and how it feels, but in the simplest terms, it's like I went from walking uphill my whole life to all of a sudden walking on flat ground, and I didn't realize it until I switched over to the carbon feet.
These specific prosthetics designed for running aren't cheap either, estimated between $30,000 to $40,000. Alvarado's family couldn't be more thankful.
Very, very excited and very grateful for everybody. You know, this is his first time, and he's very, very excited and we are so honored to be here.
And within minutes of getting his new prosthesis, Alvarado hit the ground running.
I already noticed how fast I could go. I just need to practice more with it.
And now he'll have plenty of time to do so out on the soccer field with his teammates. Shelby Rose, Fox 26 News.
Still ahead, corporate cutbacks are planned for a retail giant. Plus, Toyota gets hit by rising costs and supply shortages. Those details coming up. Corporate cutbacks are planned for a retail giant. Toyota is hit with rising costs and supply shortages, and an entire superhero movie is left on the cutting room floor. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Walmart has announced some layoffs at its corporate headquarters as it restructures. Several reports say 200 corporate positions are being eliminated. Walmart employs 2.3 million people worldwide, 1.6 million in the U.S. The company says it will create new roles in other areas. Toyota's profit tumbled 42% in recent months. The automaker was dealing with continued shortages of chips and other parts and COVID shutdowns in China. Toyota is also dealing with higher prices. The Transportation Department is proposing stricter rules when airlines have to compensate passengers for their travel troubles. The new rules would require airlines to refund travelers if a flight's departure or arrival time shifts by 3 or more hours for a domestic flight and 6 hours or more for an international flight. It would also require airlines to issue vouchers that don't expire to customers who don't want to fly because of public health concerns. And Warner Brothers Discovery is scrapping its upcoming superhero film Batgirl. The movie starring Michael Keaton and Brendan Fraser was already in post-production and had a budget of nearly $90 million. The move is reportedly all part of a major restructuring plan at the studio just months after completing its merger. For more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm CJ Papa.
A group of women in Utah come together to give back, each dedicating their time and effort to making quilts for a homeless shelter. Mithili Gooby has more on their active service.
More than just fabric stitched together.
And what would I be doing now if I didn't have this?
It's a community working to make a difference. Very nice. Oh, wow. In the lives of strangers to make them feel welcome and comfortable.
Somebody cared enough about them to do and make something for them.
Karen Pinkelman has volunteered with the Tooele Community Resource Center for over a year. She wanted to find a way to give back using her special talent, quilting.
What do you need? And then she came back and said, we would love to have homemade quilts on the beds at the Harris facility when they open up. And I thought, I think we could do this.
Along with about 50 other members in the guild, these women get together about once a month to design and cut fabric kits, sew pieces like these, and enjoy each other's company.
It's really fun. We talk about everything. I mean, shoes to food to women talk. And it's just really fun. We laugh, we giggle. And it's good to do this and let it out.
Pinkelman says she has been charity sewing for years, and she is grateful for the impact that her pieces can make.
Important to other people. They're important to me.
And they're important to the people who will find shelter at the Harris Community Village and see a labor of love on their beds, handmade by the Tooele County quilters.
It makes a difference. It makes people have connection to the community, and that's how we help people learn to be good neighbors. It means a lot. So thank you so much.
Pinkelman says she loves being able to use her passion and talent to help people around her.
To me, it's really important. It's a part of my life. I love fabric. And of course, you always buy too much of it. And you don't know what to do with all of it. And then I've had friends that have passed away, and I inherit all their gorgeous fabric. But you can't take it with you. So why not share it and make somebody else happy?
In Grantsville, I'm Maitili Gubi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Stay with us. We'll have more right after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. Some people in Scotland took their love for nature to a new level. The inaugural Scottish Treehugging Championship was held late last month, and since then, video of the event has been circulating online. Contestants were evaluated by judges on their speed, dedication, and style of hugging trees, as well as who could hold their poses the longest. More than 25 people took part in the championship, which is double what organizers were expecting. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.